Now, when we get a small motor, the first thing that I do, like I said, is I clean the air filter in a descending order here. I pull off the gas tank and the carburetor, and I clean out the gas tank, and then I clean out the carburetor so I don't have any stale fuel. The next thing I do is I check for spark. Using this is a 13/16 spark plug socket. I pull the plug, and I'll either remove and replace the plug, and in this case it's a J19LM with a 30 thousandths gap, or I'll take a look, see if it's any good, and reinstall it. But before I do that, I reconnect it to the coil, put it to the side and ground it to the motor. And I have either a helper hold down the brake cable, or I'll clamp it some way, and that'll allow me to be able to pull the starter cord. What I'll do is I'll hold this to the side. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but I'm looking for a spark. And I got a really good spark right there. Okay? So I know that I'm getting spark. But in a future episode, you'll see how I go about finding why I don't have a spark. And the first thing that I do is I start with this brake cable. Okay? And you'll see that when you pull on this brake cable to shut the motor off, it grounds out the coil. And I want to see that there's a gap. It might be misaligned, or when you fully depress it, it doesn't break away from the motor, and it's staying grounded and won't allow a spark. The reason why I start there is it's free, and I'll know instantly if I have a problem with the cable, and I'll start there and replace that. But oftentimes it's just the brake cable. Second, I'll replace the spark plug, because they do occasionally go bad, because that's the least expensive in descending order. And then if I have to, I'll replace the coil. But that's some money, and I'd rather not do that. Coils usually don't go bad. Plugs go bad quite frequently. And these cables get pinched right here, because a lot of times people will be taking the wing nuts here, or these little bolts off, and they'll fold the handle to stick it into a car so they can transport it to another yard. And right there, this cable gets pinched. And from here down, it's really not disengaging the grounding mechanism. And you'll see that in a minute. But that's how I deduce where my problem is. There's only three things: the cable, the plug, or the coil. Now, I've had some problems where somebody will put the housing, blower housing, and pinch off the plug wire to the coil, and it's grounding out right here. There's a special place for it to come out. You can see how loose it is right there. Some people will accidentally put it over in the corner and pinch it right there, and it's grounding the wire to the motor. That has happened. One last thing is, when you put this back in, gently put it in. It's aluminum block, and it just has to be snug. And oftentimes I've seen people over tighten the head, and either you'll have to rethread the head or find a new head for the motor, because the motor's fine. Just somebody over tightened the plug. And I'll show you how to go on the next couple of episodes and check all these things that I was telling you. But that's the process.